spoilerios about spoilerios. Let's roll.
Hello, welcome to Evolution of the Arm. I'm Sean Baker, and I'm a huge Twin Peaks fan, and I've been waiting since the night that the season 2 finale aired to see this. And obviously most of us that are fans that go back that far, and even fans that, you know, have come along since then, didn't think we'd get this. 2 years ago, Mark Frost and David Lynch announced it with a wonderful tweet, a reference to the series. The Gum You Like is going to come back in a style. I was standing in a coffee bean on Olympic Boulevard at the time, and I actually started to cry. And people looked at me like I was a freak, but I didn't care because I was really happy. And you know, I spent most of the 90s hoping that this would happen, and then most of the aughts just coming to terms with the fact that it wouldn't, and now here we are. Last night, 4 episodes dropped. I watched all 4. I rewatched 1 and 2 this morning, and I want to talk about those first 2. I'll do the 3 and 4 next week when everybody has seen those. I want to be careful with spoilers. But so, okay, the first thing I want to talk about in the first episode, I love the fact that we start in the Black Lodge with Dale and Laura with exactly what we've already seen. It feels like a thank you to those of us that, you know, were watching back then. I love the new intro, by the way, the title sequence. Focus on the falls. I always kind of wondered if the falls were going to contain the White Lodge. It's maybe not the way that Lynch does things. You know, there's the metaphor versus the physical. We go almost immediately to New York. Unbelievable shot of New York, the skyline, and then you go kind of street level. Another great shot, really gives you a sense that you're there, a sense of the night, which is a very important element to Twin Peaks. And then you go into this room where this kid is watching a box. This is one of the most intriguing things to me right now. The girl, Tracy, comes in. I think the kid's name is Sam. They get killed by something that kind of resembles a gray alien in a way. And if you read Mark Frost's Twin Peaks Secret History that came out late last year, you know that he ties in Roswell and a bunch of stuff. I don't know if that's how concrete we're going with it. I have a feeling that they're both kind of have, Frost and Lynch both have an area of the sandbox. And Frost is a little bit more concrete and down to earth, and Lynch is obviously a little bit more abstract. So I don't know how well we'll define these things. We may never know what it is. I'll get back to this scene though. So then another thing I really liked, Matthew Lillard, is he the new Bob? Did he kill this woman, Ruth Davenport, and doesn't remember it or remembers being there as a dream? Leland says something in the original series where when Bob is inside him, it's like he's not there. I forget exactly how he words it, but basically like Bob comes in and there's a hole in Leland's memory, and then when Bob leaves, he pulls that plug and Leland remembers all these terrible things, right? So is this the case with Lillard? Or, I mean, that's how it seems at first, right? But then there's also the idea that the wife was aware of his affair and seems to have maybe hired Bad Coop to kill this woman and frame her husband to get rid of him, knowing his fingerprints are obviously all over the apartment because he's been there for, you know, the sake of the affair. Let's go into the second episode, because they really played like one big episode, which of course they did, right? The pilot's like that. The 2-hour finale, what was originally aired as a 2-hour movie, not 2 separate episodes. It pans over when he's in the prison, and there's a thing, a filthy man with a beard and some kind of a sock hat, and I'll be damned if it doesn't look exactly, or very close, let's put it that way, to the dumpster witch behind the Winkies in Mulholland Drive. Now, going into this, there were rumors. I really didn't read a lot of this, but I talked with a friend that was trafficking very highly in keeping up on some of the rumors or theories that were going on about what this third season would be. I hadn't realized, or at least I had forgotten, that Mulholland Drive was originally supposed to be Audrey Horne going to Hollywood. And so then this whole thing comes up when you start to see the cast, and you had a lot of the same people from Mulholland Drive being in this new series. Now, obviously, Lynch likes to work with actors that he likes, so that explains it. But then there was this whole theory going around that they are going to be linked. And, you know, the Rebecca Del Rio scene in Mulholland Drive, red curtains, it really feels like it could be some kind of manifestation of the Lodge. I don't know. Shared universes are really big right now, to the point, I used to love it. I don't know that I like it so much, and I don't know that I want it infringing on Twin Peaks and Lynch's oeuvre. However, if he did, I'd probably love it. So, in this second episode, another thing that I now want to go into is the fact that, so when Sam and Tracy are killed, we loop back at some point. So we spend a lot of time with Cooper in the Black Lodge as we get into the second episode, and he's trying to get out. The one-armed man wants him to get out. The arm, the evolution of the arm. So Michael Anderson's character has evolved into whatever this tree brain thing is, which is amazing. Reminds me very much of Eraserhead. Cooper is trying to get out, and then he ends up slipping into the glass box in New York, right? So then we kind of loop back and we see the same scene kind of from a different perspective, where he's in there, the room's empty because now this is where Sam and Tracy are outside and the guard is gone. Also, I'd like to point out, I really thought Tracy wasn't what she seemed to be, because it seemed pretty convenient that the second time she comes there, or the subsequent time from what we see, the guard isn't there. It seemed like, is she trying to infiltrate this? She kind of tried to check out the code that he used to get back into the room. We may never know now. But so Cooper's in the room while they're out. Now, congratulations, Sam. You had one job, was to pay attention until something appeared inside that glass box, and you blew it. As they get into their heavy makeout session, and then, one thing leads to another, something, this is where that alien or whatever it is manifests, breaks out and destroys their faces. Actually kind of makes their faces look a little bit like its face looks as it's flickering inside the box before it breaks out. But point being, was this something that was sent to find Cooper and bring him back? It's implied there's some kind of a not just a logic system at work here, but some kind of rules. And so, Bob has to go, or bad Cooper, it's arguable at this point if he actually is Bob, or a separate entity. He has to go back, but doesn't want to. He's going to break the rules. Cooper, the arm tells Cooper, you can't leave until your doppelganger comes back. But then, nonetheless, he gets out. And in fact, it's the arm's doppelganger that seems to cast him out into non-existence. I don't know. From there, the episode gets pretty insane. Ends with an awesome showcase on a band, the Chromatics, Johnny Jewel band. And blown away. If you have thoughts, put them in the comments, and next week I'll talk about 3 and 4, which I'm going to have to rewatch probably at least 2 more times in order to even wrap my head around it.